Part 3.3, 5 levels of a performance creative. Okay, this is actually really important. I broke this down because these are the different layers of skill sets that I've learned over the years that have made me, say, the strategist and the creative entrepreneur I've become. Okay, so level 1 is editing. All right, editing or design. I didn't include design, but I started off as a graphic designer in Photoshop. Right, so when you just know editing, you understand the programs and the tools, how to cut with provided assets and follow a script. Basically, you're told what to do, and you can go and do it. Level 2, I would say, is when you can combine videography and editing. Now you're kind of like more self-sufficient. You have more vision or of what the video is going to look like in post-production, especially if you're shooting it. You know what you're going to edit. At least when I'm shooting, I was like, oh, I can use that cut. Oh, I can definitely use that cut. Oh, that's not good. Versus when you're just editing and you're seeing the footage for the first time, you don't have the context, and you don't have the nuances that you get when you're on set or you're shooting it. And when you're shooting a video, you have the intention of editing it a certain way. So when you combine those two, I think you have much more. You're more grounded for sure. Next, I would say level 3 is adding copywriting to the mix. You now understand the customer avatar, and you can script a video that resonates more deeply with an audience. Obviously, it's kind of like backwards, because I feel like copywriting is the start of the creative process, or at least scripting and copywriting, which then sets the tone for the rest of the video. And if you're an editor who knows copywriting, I think this is a super, super valuable skill that very few editors have. If you can write your own copy and edit, boom, you've just eliminated the need for a copywriter. So I'm not the best copywriter, but I can definitely write my own stuff. And it just makes things a lot more efficient. You don't have to wait for anybody to provide you copy. And it's like, okay, I can just make this up on the spot. And if English is your second language, it might be more challenging. But even then, you can still learn. You can still learn some of the basics, because that's going to help you a ton, especially because there's so much text and so much writing in editing. And if you're not decent at it, it's going to be more of a struggle. All right, next, level 4 is adding directing to the mix. You now can elicit a strong, authentic, emotional response in the creative that will resonate with the audience at a much deeper level. If you don't get the chance to direct, I definitely suggest doing some of your own projects, directing your own talent, because when you direct talent, you can feel the energy and the performance going back and forth from the actor or whoever you're working with. Like, oh, no, I don't like that. Let's do it again. That doesn't sound authentic. Let's do it again. Tell me about a time where you actually felt, mad about something. I want to see more of that. Or I'm not believing it. Can you tell it in your own words? These are all things that I've learned as a director to be able to elicit a stronger emotion out of people. Because sometimes actors definitely need to be directed. If they're self-directed, let's say they're shooting UGC at home or, shooting their own content, they don't have someone judging them based off their performance. They're just kind of going with, I think that's good. But when you have the eye to be able to discern, okay, that was believable, that wasn't believable. Sometimes actors don't have that self-awareness yet. So when you become a director, when you start directing your own stuff, you can manage the quality much more effectively. Sometimes you just can't, because sometimes talent isn't as good as you'd hope them to be, and that's okay. You just don't work with them again. But I would say it's a very, very valuable skill. And when you direct, you know what to extract from the actor that will later go into the video. It's like, okay, I need you to say this line. Say this line. Say it 5 different ways. And then boom, now I have 5 different variations in editing, which, takes very little time when you're directing versus, if you don't have that luxury. Okay, level 5, last one is strategy and media. Now, if you have all these components, you have a fully comprehensive understanding from ideation to iteration, and you're able to refine and improve any stage of the creative process. Okay, this shows that you have done everything from design, editing, copywriting, videography, editing, and now even launching your own ads. This is a long journey. Okay, there's a lot of different skill sets and nuances required to learn all of those. But when you learn that, you can most definitely be your own creative entrepreneur. You can be a creative strategist in a company. You can manage a big team. You'll have people are going to come to you for advice and for help and solutions, which means a higher responsibility level, which means higher income. And I would say this is something that I've had to learn, not forcibly, but I had to learn it because I didn't have a choice. It's not something that I want to do every day, but when you just know how it works, it's enough. Okay. So it's not like I'm going to focus all of my stuff in media buying because that's not my strength. My strength lies in editing and directing and creating content. But I know how to talk to media buyers and I know how to talk to strategists about the direction. And so I'm able to execute much more effectively that way.